Hello and welcome to the Leckiju Lounge. This is your host Lex, and as the HTC woman once said, this is life. Connect with it. Hey Boogie, we're back at it again. I it's first week back for a lot of people. I think a lot of people just started school this week. Actually somebody I saw a friend of mine who is still in school, like high school. Or a student of mine, she started last week or something like that on Friday or something. And I'm like, that's stupid. First of all, if we're not starting on Monday, I don't like it. But I didn't go to public school, so like I always got to start on a Monday. My mom was just like, I don't know, first Monday in August, we're going. And I genuinely hate back to school time. Like, I hate it so much. And I guess because I used to talk to my brother about this, because once I was like graduated and out of school, I still was in dance, and the dance season is still, like in professional companies, still kind of follows school, like regular school. So it's like August to May. And I don't really know why that is, but it's like because I was in dance, even once I graduated, I still had like getting back to it in August, and it's like the same school semester setup. And you sometimes have fall break, sometimes have like a break after your show in the fall, and then you have winter break for Christmas. So it's like it's still similar, and now I'm teaching dance, so it's like I'm still stuck in this same semester and same setup. But yeah, yesterday was my first day back to teaching, or in this new position of teaching where it's a little more full-time. I mean, it's part-time, but I have 11 classes, which is a lot. I have 5 on one day, like yesterday, and then tomorrow I'll have 6. And I'm gonna be so beat. Like, yesterday, I left being a zombie. And my friend, who's also a teacher there, she saw me and she was like, girl, you look so tired. Like, you look like you went through it. And I did. Because obviously, like, I will get used to it a little bit, but it was just shocking. First time back, and it was very draining because, I think I'm a very active teacher. I don't just sit down and like say do this. And sometimes I can't help myself, and I just do too much with them, whether I'm like showing it or I'm doing it with them, because like I do have the energy, and I definitely do that for the first 2 classes, and then it's like, well, now I'm tired, but I still do it. Like, I can't just sit down and I can't just stand still. I always end up doing it with them. Also because a lot of my students do need that like type of help and guidance. So yeah, I was beat, and I have a longer day. I have like I think it's like 2 more hours on Wednesday of teaching. So I'm gonna be even more of a zombie tomorrow night. I was so glad there was food at home. That my parents texted me and they were like, we got you some food. I was like, I will honestly eat anything. Like, I don't even care what it is. And I did. I just sat there and quietly ate. But yeah, it's exciting, but it's also very hard. And yeah, that was my first day. I wanted to talk about the main topic today. I wanted to talk about was things that changed me. This just hit me last night. Things that like changed me as a person, or changed people often say your brain chemistry, or like altered it. And I always say, like, there are things that can be my favorites of different things. But some things just like influence me more. Some things just like change me more in my brain. So I wanted to highlight some of those. I've probably talked about some of them before, and I asked some people to submit as well on Instagram. So we'll get to those at the end of the video, but I sectioned these and categorized them to movies, shows, songs / like music videos, and then fashion. The fashion section I don't have a ton, because I am like most of my personality, and I feel like things are based off of movies, shows, and songs. But there is some pieces of like fashion growing up and stuff that were very influential. So I just wrote a few down, and these are like mostly current or within like the last 10 years, but some of them will also track back to like younger me. Um, Before I get into that though, I just had like a mental note to talk about for some reason. I recently made a TikTok about because from ATs, if you don't know, I was so obsessed with him, and like he wrecked me so hard at the concert, and I feel like him and I, like I just want him bad. And my bias line originally was San, Sangwa, and Uyung, but now I feel like Yuno's kind of entering the chat. And this always happens. Like, don't piss me off. Like, don't piss me off by being cute and by being charming and by like being a good dancer and having good energy at every show. Like, do not piss me off, because you're gonna make me want you to be in my bias line too. And it's overwhelming. But anyways, you can join, of course. Like, I love you. And I want you bad now. So you're joining the throuple. Now it's gonna be what? A foursome? There's not a word for a couple if it's four. I don't think that's a thing. Fourple. Yeah, that's not a thing. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's see. So movies is what I have first. I've talked about these before because we've talked about movies, but Burlesque is the first thing I wrote down. Duh. I want to rewatch it, honestly. I listened to the soundtrack a lot. The soundtrack, very influential, very life-changing. But the movie itself, like, it was such a new idea to me. And I've actually noticed writing these movies and shows down, a lot of these are, like, music-based or have, like, musical elements to them. Because I love movies with either a good soundtrack or that are musicals and have a lot of music in them. But Burlesque is like, I mean, it's Christina Aguilera and Cher, and I had such a Christina Aguilera phase because of this movie. And I watched it pretty young. I don't even know how old I was. I want to say I was like 10. I was younger. I was definitely younger than I should have been. But the topic of being like, it introduced me to nightclubs, and honestly, it made me think that like nightclubs were gonna be like that in real life, and I'm like, it pisses me off that they're not. Because you genuinely like couldn't find a burlesque club or something like that with that much actual talent and like singing. I feel like obviously they were really just dramatizing it and making it really amazing for the movie, but it wasn't they don't quite exist like that. Like, if you look up burlesque club, if any do exist, it looks a little hokey pokey, a little boof. But anyways, that movie was just so influential. Next is Charlie's Angels, again, my favorite movie of all time. Charlie's Angels 2000. And the second one, Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. It is so major for me in my life. It's my favorite movie to this day. And the first time I watched it, again, I was a child, and it changed so much for me. Like, anything that I would play, for example, like toys or live action play, was so influenced by them at the time, and like my imagination was so broadened because of that movie. And I mean, it's comedic, it's the action's fierce, like that's the type of action that I love, and the comedy, it's so timeless to me. Moving on, Mean Girls, if you've seen it, like, I don't really know if there's people who watch it and are just like, oh, it was a good movie. But I don't know. Because anyone that, like, I know and am friends with who has seen it loves it, right? It's, like, just such a iconic movie to them. I've never met someone who, like, said they didn't like it, actually, now that I think about it. Where they're like, oh... And honestly, most people have seen it. I don't know. Maybe it's just the people that I'm surrounded with and the people that I'm friends with, but like, they love Mean Girls. And you should. It's so iconic. And there's so many movies and shows and characters that I feel like are based off of the characters in that movie. Like, the mean girl, I feel like so many mean girls after that, like the villain in high school stuff or college movies and shows, I feel like they were based off of Regina George in a way. And her character, like, that being said, the characters in the movie are not even like super crazy original ideas. It just works the way that they did it. Like the whole storyline of being like, okay, this girl who's like a little bit of, she's an outsider. She's like the homeschool like weird girl, which in the beginning of the movie she's not even that weird. You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, the new girl, the weird girl comes in and then like ends up being like befriending the cool girls or who are like the mean ones, or just the cool people, the popular ones. And then it's like the story and the whole idea of it is not even super original, but it's just like so different still. The movie still like holds up. It's still better than any other remake that's basically the same idea. That was a lot, but Mean Girls is just fierce, okay? Next up, I have Insidious. Insidious is my favorite horror movie to date, and when I watched it, I can't remember when I watched it. It came out in 2013, I believe, and I want to say I saw it 2016, and it made me, that's like was one of the movies that made me start liking horror movies, because I used to be very scared of them. And it was that, along with the Halloween movies, like with Michael Myers, that's like that's like murder type horror. This is like spirits, ghost, paranormal stuff. And they're both different tracks, but I love both. And see, the Halloween movies made me start, like, I liked them because it was for Halloween, and that like made me like horror, and I used to be very scared. And then Insidious was like, really did scare me. The first time I watched it, I was like, this is really scary, but also I was able to appreciate the idea of the movie. And if you haven't seen it, I recommend, I don't find it very scary now, but also I don't find many scary movies too bad, because I feel very desensitized at this point, which I wish wasn't the case. But if I find something that will scare me, it's like really fierce. Actually, I can't remember if I talked about this, but I just watched Smile 2, which Smile, I don't know, the first one came out not too long ago, like they're new movies, and this one came out last year. Smile 2 with Naomi Scott. She was amazing in it. The movie was amazing. I didn't love the end, like the very end of how everything played out, but the entire rest of the movie was good. Kept me interested for over 2 hours of a movie, and it wasn't like scary like I'm having covers over my head, but it was like it kept me on edge. It was able to be creepy to me, and I live, because that's very hard to find. Next up, High School Musical. High School Musical is all three of them like life-changing to me. These soundtracks I've been listening to since I was like born. The movies I've been watching since I can remember, and I've loved them, and it's not something that I grew out of whatsoever, and that's what I love so much. If it's something that I loved as a child, like there's some movies and shows that I really enjoyed when I was young, but these are things that like I don't remember living without these in my life, music wise and movie wise, and still to this day I can't imagine living without them, because I watch them at least once a year, at least, preferably twice a year. But I just love them so much. And yeah, there's choreography that was influential to me. There's music. Next up, I have Clue. Clue, what was that? What year was that from? It's from the 1990s. It's in the 90s, I think. It is such a good movie. Wait, is it from the 90s now? I'm thinking, is it from the 80s? I'm sorry. It's old. It's an old one. Okay, don't watch anything new. It's going to be boof. Clue, it's based on the board game. It's amazing. It's so funny, and it was such a good idea to me, and I don't even like the board game Clue, but the movie was so good, and the acting's amazing. I don't know. It's one of those movies that I can quote the entire thing, because I have seen it a handful of times, and because it's so like to me, if something came out like this today, it would be like clipped and put on TikTok in clips, because like every line is so iconic and everything I feel like could be a catchphrase in a way. So like that's why it's so memorable to me. Last movie I have is Harry Potter, which is all the series. I know Harry Potter, the newer stuff that they did with Harry Potter or whatever the Fantastic Beasts was, I don't know. But the original 7 and like the 7 part 2, so 8, the original 8 movies are so iconic and really life-changing to me, because it's like, who thinks of this stuff? I mean, wizards, magic, that's like something that is quite literally brain altering, and just gets your creative juices flowing. I think some people don't like fantasy movies because they think it's just kind of stupid or pointless, or it's just like weird. But personally, I love it. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Star Wars, but I can appreciate how much like thought and crazy like ideas went into it. So that's how I feel about Harry Potter, and that's how I feel about Narnia. Like, those things that I grew up with, they're genuinely so cool to me. And like, I will never throw shade at those things, at those works of art. Moving on to shows. First up, I have American Horror Story. It was very crazy to me. I've talked about it before, that it was one of the things that I watched where I was like, oh, this is literally taken out of my brain. And that's hard to find, because I'm like, my brain's pretty dark and twisted, and that show was like at my level. And I was very appreciative of that. And it even gave me ideas that I wouldn't even think of, which I was like, whoa, okay, this is fierce. Because it's really dark and twisted. And, watch it at your own risk if you're not into that. But I actually had a friend she didn't like scary. And I don't think the show's that scary, but one of my best friends at the time, she was like, I don't do scary. And I told her, I was like, I really want you to watch this. I'm watching it again, and I feel like I feel like you should see it. And she gave it a try, and she said like some of the parts were scary to her, but she loved it. And she didn't think she was going to, but she loved like every season of it. She was so into it. And I love that. She's also a friend that I got into K-pop, and it was kind of same deal. She thought she would hate it, and then she ended up loving it. And I was like, I think I made her a better person, T. Next up, I have Austin and Ally, and that's not even because the show was that influential to me. I just put that because that show made me like fall in love with Ross Lynch, and that was kind of part of my awakening around that time that I rewatched it, and that's really it. I mean, the music's great. The show's funny to me, but it's like, it's not that anything crazy. That was just my like, okay, Ross Lynch T. Like, I watched 4 seasons of him falling in love. Glee. I just watched, well, where we're stopping for Glee last night. We're only watching the first 3 seasons, because after that it got kind of boof Tina. But we just watched the last episode of season 3. Very sad, very emotional. And may I say, if you've seen the show, you get it. If someone did to me what Finn did to Rachel on the last episode, I'm killing myself. If I may spoil for you, they're planning to get married. They just graduated high school. They're planning to get married. He's driving her to the wedding, to the venue. And he drops her off at the train station. And in the car, he says, you're going to New York. Because basically she gave up her dream to be with him another year, because she got into a college in New York and he didn't. And then she was going to give up her dream, but he's like, no, you have to go over your dream, which is, of course, sweet. And then he tells her, so he's basically breaking up with her temporarily. She thought she was getting in the car to go get married. Then he drops that they're breaking up. We're not getting married today, and you're going to New York. I'm staying here. And then he tells her that he's joining the army. I'm killing myself on the spot, first of all. And so of course she cries. It's a mess. It's a disaster. Then she goes to New York. That's the end of the episode. But I love Glee. Anyways, it's so good. Music's so good. Drama's good. And It also introduced me to like a little bit of gay culture more so, and like queer characters, and love that. Drag Race. Hey, talk about queer characters. Drag Race is so influential to me, and it was so major. And it was just like, I don't know. There's so much in that that's like opening my mind and like introducing me to these creative people and creative topics. And I'm so happy to be in the Drag Race world. I will say in recent seasons it's been, a little bit chopped, but the old season's amazing. And just like RuPaul in general, it's like him as a person was very life-changing to me, just his existence. And now I have creators like Trixie Mattel that I watch on a regular basis who like teach me so much about the world and about queer people and like things that I should know. More on that later. Dance moms. Dance moms, obviously I grew up dancing. It's kind of it taught me a lot about dance and like how people can be, and obviously it's like funny and it's a bit and it's reality TV, but it's also very real. Like I've met people who are that, and now I'm a dance teacher, so it's like I'm Abby Lee now, I guess, but I will be, potentially dealing with parents. Hopefully they're not near as bad. And the last TV show I have is Little House on the Prairie. It's fierce. It's very what do you call it? It's very educational. And I used to watch it for school. My mom, I was homeschooled, so whenever we would have lunch, we used to watch an episode of Little House on the Prairie. And it's very educational. And also just very fun. Not only educational, like, historically, but also educational in, like, a emotional way. And in, like, how the evolution of family and, like, things like parenting and household chores and household work, like the way the evolution of that is really cool to see, and obviously just expands your knowledge. So this is a pretty wide range of things. Like we have American Horror Story, Glee, Drag Race, Little House. Like it's very broad, but that's like, this is why I am the way that I am, these movies and TV shows. And next up is songs. So yeah, we're gonna have to dive in. Well, welcome back from the break. We're going to talk about our songs now that we're there. So, I have some older songs, and then I also have some newer things. For instance, like the youngest. Okay, not the youngest, but I remember being very into "Worth It" by Fifth Harmony. Like when I heard that song on the radio, I was singing it all day. And I had a hardcore Fifth Harmony phase. I wanna highlight that because I did. Before I even had my own YouTube account, I remember making an account on my oldest brother's, and I made a playlist under his account, and it was just Fifth Harmony. I wanted to point that out because I haven't really come clean about that. Now following after that, I want to highlight Dem Beats by Todrick Hall. A lot of Todrick Hall's music was very inspiring to me and very mind-blowing because, well, it's really all about queer culture or about like loving men, and that was cool to me, and things that I wasn't like introduced to yet, so it was awesome. But Dem Beats was the first one. It actually features RuPaul on it. If you haven't heard it, give it a listen. It's fun, it's dancey, and first time I heard it was actually at a competition. Another group was performing to that. Then I had Sorry Not Sorry by Demi Lovato. That was a whole era for me. That was a whole era, just that song, that message. How many times in my bios on different apps have I had Sorry Not Sorry? Sorry Not Sorry, I am who I am. Catch that in my bio. And then some black hearts. Why am I making fun of myself? So yeah, Sorry Not Sorry made me have a whole Demi Lovato era, similarly to Dangerous Woman by Ariana Grande, and she has so many amazing songs, truth be told, but Dangerous Woman, my favorite by far, always has been. And I mean, it's just sexy. It's sexy, and that it's just my favorite. Okay, it's just my favorite. Anyways, um, now getting into some of the K-pop stuff. So, AT's everything. AT's everything they release. It literally shocks me every time. Whoa. Something, at least one song on there, every album is like whoa. But I'm gonna highlight some that I think are more important. Wonderland, culture shock for me because that was the first AT song that I had listened to, and the music video was like whoa, this is a lot going on. It was a lot going on. I mean, like, and the beat is so like boom, 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 boom. That wasn't really it, but I gotta tell you, it's like it's kind of like marching. It's like I'm going off to war. Okay, it's getting ready. It's getting pumped. And the choreography's fierce, and I remember the visuals, like it was showing each of them, and this is when I was new to the group, and I was like, okay, well, this one's this one, this one, this one, and I was like, oh, this is the one I really like, this is the other one I like. And here we are, 3.5 years later. It's a fierce song. Give it a listen. Inception and Deja Vu were kind of my second songs to get into ATs, and those are just as influential to me. I had never heard anything like it. I had never seen anything like it. I had never seen that many beautiful people in one music video before. I was gagged. Let's just say I was gagged. Okay? Now moving on not from ATs yet, but I wanted to highlight the albums. They have the World EP Outlaw and the World EP Finn. Those are two separate albums, and those are my two favorite albums of theirs. When it comes to like the whole album, like album as a whole, and the title tracks and the music videos, I think they were the best. I feel like that was peak ATs for me. And I don't know, just the sounds, really fierce. Check them out. The EP Finn was the first full-length album that I had been a fan for, and it was well worth it. And they had unit songs in it. It was just a whole thing. I want to special shout out to Ariba because it's my favorite song on the track. Now I can move on from ATs. Oh, hold up. I must say that watching their live performances is more like brain altering for me rather than watching music videos and just listening to the songs. And obviously seeing them live 3 times now has made my whole personality change. I mean, that is my personality, the fact that I've seen them 3 times. Check my socials. Okay, now I'll move on from them. Let's see. We need to highlight XG Woke Up. Woke Up by XG was a whole moment for me. It got me into XG. It really solidified me with XG. And everything they put out, like literally every single title track and B-side is so good. And I can't say that about a whole lot of people. I only say that about like ATs and them. Now aespa, same deal. This is the last person I'm going to talk about. aespa has so many songs and music videos that were like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, these are sounds that I didn't even know could be created in a studio, and these sounds are scratching my brain the way that I need them to. They always use vocal fry. They always use, like, they fry the sounds like they're deep cooking some fried ass chicken. And it gets me going. Like, it's all like, I'm not going to try to do it. Too late. But it's like, it's just those types of sounds that I'm like, I'm over here having a seizure. It's like Transformers in the movie theater. It's like, I'm tweaking. But I put Drama by aespa because that is my very favorite song of theirs. It's my favorite music video that came out in 2023 as a whole. It's just fierce Tina, and I love it. And watching it live, amazing. Now, moving on to fashion. I just want to say quickly, Bob Mackie, because of his, like, growing up, that was my designer, my favorite designer that I liked. And that was because that's what my dad introduced me to. Bob Mackie, obviously seeing his stuff on Share, amazing. Seeing his stuff made for like collector Bob Mackie dolls, my favorite thing. I've talked about it on here. I'm not going to even get into it. Go watch that episode, whatever it's on. It's on the one that I talk about designers. I think it's like my 3rd episode. So go watch it. Next up, Hayden Williams. Again, my other favorite designer, current times. He's so amazing. Me on Pinterest with my Hayden Williams designs, like, that takes up a big portion of my brain. You'll have to understand that. And lastly, D Squared. D Squared, my favorite current times, like, designer, I guess, who's doing like real shows. Hayden Williams does not do shows yet. D Squared, love it. Love it. They're changing the game. I want to do a fashion show for them so bad. That's my alt brand. So if I do it at some point, y'all will know from this reference this video. Now, I'm going to get into the Leckiju cues now, which for the Leckiju cues, you can submit on my Instagram at Leckiju or at leckiju.kpop. I've got 2 Instagram accounts, and I will normally ask questions on both of them. Now, this one, I asked people, what was a piece of media that changed you? Whether it be like I listed movies, shows, songs, music videos, it could be a photo. And I'm just going to take some little time to read some of these, okay? First person I have is, they said, Ooyoung's Sagittarius, especially seeing it live. I saw this live as well, just a couple weeks ago. And, you know, it wasn't my favorite out of the solo songs, but seeing it live was it was so good visually. They had like the effects on the back, the backdrop lights looked like stars, and then they had like the lightini in the audiences, which is the light stick, all lit up blue, and it looked like we were in a room like in the night sky with all these constellations. It was so beautiful. I have photos. I think I added some photos actually on my recap episode of the concert, but they're also on my Instagrams, so you can check that out. It's such a beautiful number that he does, and I second you there. Next person said, I'm probably gonna butcher this, Fuyu no Hanashi. Fuyu no Hanashi. It's from an anime called Given, which I'm fake and I still haven't watched this show. My friend told me to watch Given and I still haven't. I watched the first episode and I just somehow didn't go back to it. But I listened to this song because you submitted this, and it was cracking me up because then I was thinking about, like, I'm imagining you, I know this person in real life, I'm imagining you jamming out to this. I'm imagining you, like, just doing your everyday life with headphones in, and you're blasting this. I don't know if that's what you did, but, it sounded very anime to me. I don't know how to explain that, but since I'm not a big anime watcher, it sounded very, like, anime rock to me. But also in Given, they have a rock band, if I'm remembering correctly. The next one says, the transporter / last woman standing / every Shuki experience. So, I've seen the transporter. I don't think I saw Last Woman Standing. These are movies. And Shuki is an actress. She's very cute, very amazing. So yeah, there's not much to say there, but I know that this person loves Shuki so much, so I get it. And it's like, I've been there where some actors or some celebrities, like, no matter what they do, it feels altering. Like, any photo shoot or concept photo that comes out of, like, San, I'm like, whoa, my whole personality is this photo shoot for the day. Temporary, for the day. The next person said, give up from that guy in B2B. So B2B is a K-pop group, if you don't know, and they're known more for like ballads and slower songs, more vocal based, and truly anything that they do, like anything live performance, they're so good at. My favorite B2B something, it's Eunkwang. I'm probably saying that wrong. Eunkwang, and he did a trio with Jungho from ATEEZ and Sungmin from Stray Kids, they did a trio on Kingdom Legendary War, which Kingdom Legendary War could have been one of my shows from earlier that I was talking about. But yeah, he did a trio with them, and they did IU. What's that IU song? Is it called Love Story? It's something, or maybe it's a Korean title. I think it might be Love Story. Anyways, they did an IU song, the three of them. Look up Jungho, Sungmin, Eunkwang. It's so good. It's live. It's beautiful. It was on Kingdom Legendary War. Look it up. It's amazing. And then our last submission we have is Drag Race. So the reason I said more on that later, this is why. Because this is actually a friend that I got into Drag Race, and it's so, like, it's funny to see her be more into it than I am even. But I'm happy. I'm glad she liked it, because it takes a specific type of person to enjoy Drag Race and also, like, get into it enough to keep up with it. So, and she does it. Girl, she does it. So I'm very thankful also just to have someone to share my love for it. Because like I said, it's hard to find, and now she loves it, and I'm glad. That's all our submissions we have. I would have loved to see more, but it's fine. If you want to be included, like I said, follow me on Instagram so that you do not miss submission day. Like I said, if you have anything in the comments, if you have anything that was brain altering, go in the comments and tell me what it was. Go in the comments and tell me maybe a movie that changed you, or a photo that changed you, or a scene. It could be a literal scene that, like, altered your brain chemistry, so to speak. Since that's all I have, I'm gonna log off here. I have a busy week this week. I'm gonna be a little tired, not gonna lie, but I'll be back next week, don't you worry. If you made it to the end of this episode, thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you will consider subscribing, because it's completely free. And please like this video and turn on the post notifications, which is the bell button, so that you get notified every time that I post a video. If you want to see my other socials, they're all linked on the channel in the link tree, but my Instagram is Leckiju and at Leckiju.kpop, and then my TikTok is at Leckiju212. I'm posting all the time on both. It's a lot of fun content. My short form content is fun, in my opinion, and very K-pop 80s based, but I'm trying to expand my niche a little bit, so stay tuned. This has been the Leckiju Lounge. Bye bye.